All right, pretty nice drive there. 301. Not even loosened up there a little bit, not my best club head speed, but a perfect smash, meaning I hit it really nice and solid, and it's very easy to do. So this is my brand new, just testing out this Ping G425. Pretty excited to hit some of the first shots with this. Let's talk about how you're gonna get some power. How are you gonna make the driver swing easy? You know, if you wanna hit it far, that's great, but how do we do it in an easy way? Well, one of the mistakes that I see is players have been told, and I used to feel the same thing myself, is to keep that right elbow kind of tucked in and down in the backswing. And what happens is when I tuck that elbow in the backswing, it ends up kind of cutting off my shoulder turn. So I almost used to feel like when I hit it much shorter and much more inconsistent than I do now, I'd feel like I didn't really move that elbow much in the backswing. I just kind of folded it up and then I just let it go. Felt really consistent. It felt like it was a very simple move, but I just didn't have the power and it really wasn't any more consistent. It's actually less consistent than my swing now. So I felt like I'm just gonna bend that right arm early, keep the elbow tucked in the backswing. The reason I did this is because I always heard, well, you wanna have that elbow tucked in the downswing, so I figured, well, it's easier to tuck it in the backswing and just keep it there than it is to do it the other way, but that just kind of sucks away all your power. What you wanna feel like is you wanna feel like almost like you're reaching up and there's almost a hammer up here. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab that handle of the hammer way above my head. I can let my elbow fly out away from my body like Jack Nicklaus and hundreds of other players that have played on the PGA Tour that are fantastic ball strikers. Now I've got all this space and all this width, and from there, then I'm gonna rotate through. And it's actually that opening up and that rotating that drives the elbow in and keeps it tucked at your side in the downswing. So we don't wanna feel like we tuck it and rotate like this in the backswing and don't really make a turn. I wanna get loaded up, get that hammer up here, and then rotate in the downswing. That's what's gonna tuck it in there. That's gonna be the best of both worlds. Now, a lot of players will tell me, Clay, I'd love to have that nice high backswing, but I'm just not flexible enough. Well, what it is we're not flexible enough if our shoulders don't rotate and our arms rotate flat. So if I feel like, again, I'm turning flat around my body, this is already very tight for me, and my shoulders haven't rotated much. That would be an incredibly short backswing, and I feel really tight in my chest. Like it's almost like even cramping up here in my left pec because it's so tight. Well, that's because I've rotated the wrong way. Now notice what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna feel like that elbow comes off my chest, and instead of my hands going back this way, my hands are going up. At the same time, I'm just gonna move my hips. Let my hips turn, and all of a sudden, I've got a lot more power. I've gotten a lot higher in my backswing, and it actually feels looser through my chest. I could actually hold this position here for quite a while without wearing out. That's what gives you a lot of good power. So it's grab something off this top shelf up here like a hammer, and then from there, I'm gonna rotate my body. That's when the elbow is gonna tuck in. You're gonna be hitting it really hard when you do that. So watch this one here. I'm gonna go ahead and do one the wrong way, which is fold the arm. And then on the next one, I'm gonna do it the right way. So here's the wrong way, arm fold, no shoulder turn. I hit that one absolutely as solid as I could. Felt like $1,000,000, but again, it's not very consistent. Even though it felt like I was doing less, that was a weak slice. Carried at 190. Swing speed went all the way down, 20 miles an hour slower on that swing. So not only was it fools you, it feels more consistent, but in reality, it's not more consistent, and it's a whole heck of a lot weaker. Now I'm gonna do that kind of arms up, shoulders rotated swing, like I'm grabbing something off that top shelf and then rotating through. Let's see how that one works. A lot more power. And again, a lot more club head speed, nice little tight draw there, straighter path or straighter ball shape than the one before. 24 miles an hour more club head speed, 311 yards, almost 100 yards, over 100 yards farther carry. So it's just being an athlete. If I don't rotate my body that way, I can't be athletic. Now, another misconception with this, the second piece of this, is feeling like, I've lost my tee here. Need to grab my tee real quick. Got so much power, I'm blowing the tees off the hitting area. But here when we're making our downswing, we actually want to get that right shoulder coming through the shot. So when I've loaded up, I get everything turning behind me. As I go through, I'm rotating everything through. When I did that kind of lever action, it's like nothing moved. My shoulders didn't move and everything just folded up and unfolded. Again, seems simple, It just really doesn't work. Instead of that fold, unfold, where my shoulder doesn't move, I want to turn my shoulder back, grab something off the shelf, turn my shoulder through the shot, and the key here is to feel like your right shoulder's facing the target when you come on through. Let's give that a whirl. So I'm going to do the exact same thing, grab something off the shelf, rotate through. Oh, it actually thought I hit a little ball there. Must have read the club moving through. When I come through, I'm going to point my right shoulder as far as I can to the target. All right, let's try one out here. There we go. I'm not going to hit one a lot better than that. Nice little draw again. You look at those 3 shots, they're almost overlaying each other. There's 3 separate shots there where I had the good swing. Again, high club head speed, 307 yards, very consistent smash factor. Everything was really nice and solid. So it's about getting rid of that little lever action with the arm and letting your body rotate. That's the true secret to having power. Now, when we're doing this, we can't just throw the club at the ball to square the face. So when I throw the club, this face closes, but that's exactly the wrong thing to do. I want to feel like as I rotate through, I have a little shaft lean, some lag, and then release that out in front, and the face squares up through rolling the club face. That's something that I can teach that to you in the tennis racket drill. You see, high handicappers and middle handicappers square the face up by doing this. Tour players square the face up by doing this. I want to teach you the way the tour players are doing it. So it works with every single club in the bag, works exactly the same. From a wedge to a driver, you're going to want to have this same move. I call it the tennis racket drill, and I'm going to walk you straight through it here. I'm going to play a preview of that video here in just 1 second. Just go ahead and click the card that pops up on your screen. If you don't see that card, don't worry. Go down to the description below, click the link there, and I'll walk you through this tennis racket drill. So we've got our body moving in the right way now. We've freed everything up. Now we got to get the face square so we can get that ball nice tight draw every single time. Let's go ahead and get started on the tennis racket drill right now. I can't wait to walk you through it. Good player problems. We're going to talk about shallowing that club shaft out as we're starting down, as we're doing this rotating of the face that we worked on in the last video. As we start this downswing, what you'll see with basically all of the top players is instead of coming kind of over the top and letting the hands come out away from their body, letting the club come out away from their body, again coming down steep into the ball and then having to open up, kind of fillet open the face and add loft to it, the flattening of the shaft should happen as soon as we start down. So as we start this downswing, what we want to have happening here, you can imagine that if I draw a line from the hosel of my club up through my right elbow, that's my swing plane line, my elbow plane. As I go to the top of the swing, I'm going to be slightly above that. And then as I start down, I want my hands to start to shallow out. I want the club to shallow out inside of this elbow plane. And at the same time, I'm going to be